Hi everyone, and you're watching NEWSBTC TV for a live stream. Now, a couple of months ago when the cryptocurrency prices were super high and everyone was really interested, well, we were doing daily updates and helping you know when the prices were going up and down and so on. But recently it's been pretty quiet. There's not much going on. The prices are low. Have people given up, or is there still a lot of interest? Well, today I'm joined by Bob Summerwill, and he has actually been involved in the Ethereum community since 2015. He's a really fantastic guy, and he knows a lot about the industry. So it's really a pleasure to be able to speak to him. And if you guys have any questions, please share with us your questions so he can help you understand what's going on in the crypto industry and what sentiment is like. So Bob, share with us what's going on. The prices are low, especially with Ether. We saw it hit one of the lowest levels in 2018, but obviously there's still a lot of development going on. And can you tell us a little bit what's happening with scalability? What achievements have actually been made and what issues still remain, and when are we going to see more improvement in that area?
Hello. So yeah, great to be with you. So yeah, as you say, I've been involved since 2015, first in the community, then at the foundation, I guess what I would say is that prices are probably one of the most useless indicators there is of what's actually happening in the community. Really, that we're seeing orders of magnitude more interest and more developers than we've ever had before. And even if you look at the prices, well, it just takes us back to where we were not so very long ago. I remember when I first started on Ethereum that the Ether price was about $1. The world was not watching. The world is now watching, and I think really that's where expectations just overshoot. And it's the same really for any kind of paradigm change or new technology coming in. Is people get really excited and they want it to be finished already. Can we not just be done? Can we not have all the scaling we want and privacy and have the world computer and have everything in the world decentralized? And the answer is, well, no, you can't have that straight away. You've got to go and build it. But what I'd say now is the case over, say, a year ago is that there's just abundant resources available for doing that now. That where when I started on the Ethereum community, you join the subreddit and basically everybody in the world doing anything is on there. Just talk to all the project leads about everything that's going on. There's no way you can keep track of everything happening now. There's so much going on. And where for years you had sort of a couple of people working on any given problem and intrinsically very slow progress, now just about any project you care to mention, they seem to have teams of 20 or 30 engineers, and that's just for a specific DApp of hundreds, building on top of the public chain. Or the other thing that you've got is all of the movement you have on the enterprise side. Day after day, you hear about, new projects that are happening, new engagements, and those are now at nation state level with central banks, with all the major Fortune 500s. This January you had, Mark Zuckerberg in his Facebook kind of, yearly address saying that his focus this year was going to be on decentralization. And then, then just recently, you've had the Facebook blockchain team announced, and the guy, stepping down from the Coinbase board because he's now got a conflict of interest probably, and then you see Google, having the major blockchain platforms now available on Google Cloud. It's just absolute up ramp of interest, but that doesn't necessarily map straight onto the pricing, obviously, because prices go up and down with sentiment. It's fear and greed, and we undoubtedly had a massive sort of overshoot through the tail end of last year and early this year, where suddenly you have this gigantic bubble formed. And if assets go up, 10x or more in no time at all, well, guess what's going to happen then? That's not going to keep going forever.
And so what do you say to those people out there who put their money into Ether and they're not sure what to do?
Well, that's really their decision to make.
Well, I mean, do you think it's like, there's going to be a lot going forward, that it's worth the long-term investment? What do you think about, like, is there a future? Will we see prices go up again, do you think?
Well, I mean, what I would say is that, blockchain is a thing. I think we've got to that. This isn't just some little fad. There's real, huge social, societal impact and infrastructure spending that's going to be happening for years and years. And if you look at different smart contract platforms, I mean, Ethereum is utterly dominating. A figure I'd heard was saying that perhaps as many as like 94% of decentralized apps are built on top of Ethereum. So I think it's quite a safe bet that it's going to be around for a good number of years to come, and that much of the momentum is going to be here. And also on the key thing I'd say is it's all about developers and projects, and people are building on Ethereum. There's 1 or 2 orders of magnitude more people building on Ethereum than building on any other platform. So that that isn't going to go away in any kind of hurry. Even if some incredibly amazing new thing gets invented, Ethereum is still going to be a major part of the scene, whatever happens.
And what do you think are some of the most interesting Ethereum-based projects at the moment?
Well, some of the projects that I like the most really are to do with communication stuff. So here in Vancouver, there's a team called BrightMesh who are building mesh networking. So really, many parts of the world, it's prohibitively expensive data, but all smartphones, they've got Wi-Fi. You can do ad hoc networks, but then how do you incentivize people to share data? So what BrightMesh are doing is basically building infrastructure there where a cafe or whatever could provide Wi-Fi, and you can basically pay tokens to use that, or have phones in the middle that would be hopping. So you can basically hop from phone to phone to phone to eventually get to that internet area. So perhaps something that could be a real sort of killer app for that in the West would be not having those awful sort of captive portal things. Oh, do you want Wi-Fi? Well, type your details in and so on. It's like, can the phones just not talk to each other? Just sort that out. I'll pay you a bit of crypto and provide that connectivity. And another project I really love is Status, who are really, I don't know what their current pitch is, but sort of WeChat for crypto kind of model. Really having an Ethereum node, a light node on your phone, and then doing sort of chat and dApp platform stuff. Really having that mobile entryway to the world of dApps, and also of course sort of non-censored, non-centralized chat. Continual sort of worry for people is well, all my data is not sovereign. It's sitting inside these silos of people who may or may not love us tomorrow.
Okay, and what should we be keeping a close eye on? For those who are not like a developer or really involved in the community, for just the average person who may be invested or just interested in the technology in general in different projects, what should we be keeping a close eye on over the coming months?
Well, if the best way I have of keeping up to date on Ethereum is there's a newsletter called This Week in Ethereum from Evan Van Ness that just summarizes things every week, and that is just fantastic. So that's keeping track of projects, protocol developments, upcoming ICOs, events, conferences, lots of hackathons as well. Keep your eyes on the hackathons, because those are really like where you'll see the tech moving forward and new things being birthed. You know, there's a whole series of those that have been recently in Denver, Buenos Aires, Berlin. So you know, F Berlin, whatever. Those are fantastic. And then so there's the Ethereum DevCon 4, which is the major event coming up in October-November in Prague of this year. That's always kind of a heartbeat of the community, really. You know, that's organized by the Ethereum Foundation and is really, you know, developer and tech focused. And that's, you know, if you want to know what's happening with Casper, like that's where you're gonna get the best details, and sharding and scaling and all sorts.
And about other challenges, you know, have there been any kind of conflicts, any wars within the Ethereum community, any clashes, any personality conflicts, any gossip you can share with the NEWSBTC community?
Oh, always, yeah. I mean, I'm always the bridge builder trying to calm these things down. And what I would say actually is that 2018, I think, has been the year when a lot of that kind of stuff has really calmed down, both within Ethereum but across blockchain as a whole. And I think that's really a maturing thing, where people aren't having to feel embattled, like, you know, oh, blockchain's useless, this stuff is never going to happen. Like, you know, that's not there. And really, what you're seeing is, well, look, how do we execute? You know, it's really more of an engineering challenge of saying, well, what are the bits and what can we do? And we could do this, we could do that. And then, yeah, on the Ethereum side, there's also been the creation of this thing called the Fellowship of Ethereum Magicians, which was booted off in March of this year, which is really an open forum, open to anyone, which is really looking to bring the whole community and everyone to the table and say, hey, would you like to be part of this? Is it kind of confusing to you? Like, you know, how do core developers work, or how does the protocol get changed? Like, how do I help? How do I contribute? Who's steering? You know, really basically building, you know, a warm shell around everything to try and clarify the processes and engagement, and really say, well, you know, don't think that, you know, Vitalik's a dictator and it's just magic and just things happen. These guys in dark rooms deciding what's going to happen. That's really not the case. And if anything, you know, lack of clarity about those is just that, because people have just been busy doing work, right? You know, they're just guys sitting down at their computers working. You know, hasn't been a need for a sort of a, you know, any kind of PR campaign or explanation. But now all of a sudden, you have got, you know, mainstream engineers from other companies really going, well, hey, I could go and work at Google or Facebook or Microsoft, or maybe I could do blockchain. Like, is that a real career? Like, that's a real job now. Like, I could do that. So that's really what you're seeing is a real caliber of professionals coming to the field now, because it's viable. And I mean, I had something similar to that at the start of my games industry career, like 20 years ago. It's like, what? I can work, I can do games, and that's like a job, and I get paid for it. Like, brilliant. I mean, that's really where we are now. You know, for blockchain, is it's transitioning from this sort of edgy, weird, magic internet money thing to, no, it's a field of computer science. It's you know, you could be a web developer, you could be a blockchain developer. It's, you know, it's a profession.
Yeah, for sure. It's becoming much more recognizable, less Mickey Mousey, more sincere people. You know, it really take it seriously, which is fantastic. What about any threats like regulations? You think we might see more regulations and more stuff happen by the end of this year? Yes,
and that's good. You know, I really do welcome the regulators coming to the table. They've been very, very late coming. You know, because this is real money at stake. You know, you've got lots of people who are being scammed, losing tons of money. You know, have not really been protected. I mean, it's you know, it's sort of a shame on the industry as well as on the regulators that you know, we haven't done enough to self-regulate and protect people to this point. I mean, that again, that's something which has been really brewing up probably over the last year or so. You know, you see sort of the Masari Project Brooklyn, various sort of sort of ICO standardsy kind of efforts to really say, well, we've got to look out for people, and we should have high expectations. If you're asking people to give you millions of dollars, well, you better have a business plan. You better have some credibility about what you're doing, and not just run away to the beach and buy a Lambo. It's great that we've got the innovation of that low friction way of gathering the money. That's great, as long as it's going to something sensible. But again, I draw an analogy with the .com era, where at that point, well, any kind of .com company, oh, well, here you go, have loads of money. And it's the same here, put blockchain in your name. Well, what are you doing? Blockchain, blockchain, blockchain. Brilliant. Have a load of money. I mean, most of that obviously is just going to be down a black hole, either through straight scamminess or more often just, good intentioned people, but just without the ability to deliver on the plan, or just that, they're just over ambitious and it, just takes longer or just doesn't work out or whatever. But I mean, this is the nature of any new technology. Nobody's got the answers. Nobody's done it before. It's brand new. So you have to try lots of things, and a lot of them aren't going to work, but some of them are going to work brilliantly. You're going to get new world-changing technologies, world-changing companies. You're going to get companies launched at this point, which are, world names.
Great. And just finally, one last question. What are you specifically working on at the moment?
Sure. So I am the blockchain lead for a project which is called Quant Fury, which is a mobile trading app providing access to equities, commodities, currencies, and crypto, leveraging your existing crypto. So you can basically use Bitcoin, Ether, other major currencies as collateral for trading with no fees, no spreads on all the major markets. So really, what you're getting there is a machine learning backend, which is the profits from that basically flowing back to give you these most perfect kind of market conditions. Basically leverage uniform trading power and so on. And that's that then is using for the onboarding and also for transparency, really showing that you've got sort of you are getting these perfect conditions. I'm also running for the Hyperledger Technical Steering Committee. So that's the Linux Foundation's consortium of enterprise blockchain. So I am looking to build bridges, as always. I've got my Run EVM here between the Ethereum community and the Hyperledger enterprise side. So everybody can be friends, because we are all moving ultimately in the same direction. Whether we are in ICO world or in the stuffiest of corporate settings, we're building the next internet, and it's exciting times.
Yeah, the crypto industry is very friendly and people are great. Thanks, Bob, very much, and we will have you back very soon for another update. So appreciate it, and best of luck with your projects, and speak to you soon.
Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye. And guys, keep up to date with NEWSBTC. Come to the website, take a look, and we will be back on Monday with more updates. And see you on Monday. Thanks for watching. Bye.